name is Gail, and I'm going to be talking to you a bit about the volunteer standards of conduct. Thank you for joining me in this very important first step in becoming one of our valued volunteers. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. The mission of the VITA, that is Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, is to assist eligible taxpayers in satisfying their tax responsibilities by providing a free tax return preparation. In order to establish the general degree of public trust, all volunteers are required to maintain the high standards of ethical conduct while providing a quality service. Consequently, all volunteers must complete the Volunteer Standards of Conduct and sign the Form 13615 Volunteer Standards of Conduct Agreement prior to volunteering at any VITA site. In addition to certifying in the Volunteer Standards of Conduct or ethics training, each volunteer is expected to also complete the intake interview and quality review training, which is embedded in the ethics training itself. Upon passing these two critical online courses, each tax preparer, tax law instructor, quality reviewer, and yes, even me, will need to take the advanced level test before preparing or quality reviewing any tax return or even instructing a class. All tests or exams in this program must be passed with a score of 80% or better, and all of them are open book. Yay! These two online courses must be taken in sequential order. Let's begin with the ethics or the volunteer standards of conduct portion. Critical to the VITA program is maintaining the public's trust. Trust in that we as tax preparers will not disclose their personal business. Trust that their tax returns are accurately and completely prepared with their input. The public using this program should be confident that they are receiving a very high and responsible level of assistance. Unethical behavior will not be tolerated. Along with this responsibility, all volunteers are to be certified in ethics or volunteer standards of conduct via a training certification. Form 13615, Volunteer Standards of Conduct Agreement, is the actual agreement that each volunteer signs certifying that they will follow the volunteer standards of conduct. This is page 2 of the 13615 agreement. This captures the information that you're going to be inputting shortly, as well as your final test scores. The information is automatically pulled in and generated from data you would have input at VIT Central. Now there's a new phrase for you, VIT Central. We're going to be getting to that, but just know that the information is automatic. There are some primary books that are available to our VITA volunteers. They are Publication 4961, which is the Volunteer Standards of Conduct Ethics Training book. This book is available either online or in a paper format. The training is a mandatory course and must be taken by everyone participating in VITA. Publication 5101, which is the Intake, Interview, and Quality Review Training book. This is the other mandatory online course. Additionally, we have Publication 6744, which is the actual book that houses all of our test questions. As you can see, this is a test retest booklet. This tells me that the online test questions could come from either one of those sets of test questions. My gift to you is to answer all of the questions, both the test and the retest, in the test booklet first before you go online to take the test. Additionally, before you hit the submit button at the bottom of the test page, review, review, and review. Once you hit the submit button, your test is scored instantly. You will have 2 opportunities to pass the test. Yes, the tests are open book. And of course, there are no answers in the booklet. Locating the publications or forms is easy. Simply go to irs.gov, then go to the search box, type in any form or publication you're looking for, then follow the link. This is the picture you will get after going to the irs.gov website. If you were able to type in, or if you typed in publication 4961, the ethics publication, you will get the following screen. You will then click on the link and voila, there it is, the ethics publication. These are the objectives of the online ethics training. They're listed on page 2 of the publication. Before briefly walking through the 6 standards of conduct, allow me to point you to what is an unethical behavior. That definition is also located on page 2 of the publication 4961. So, unethical behavior is knowingly performing some act you know is against the standards. IRS says unethical behavior is not conforming to agreed standards of moral conduct. Unethical behavior is acted upon with the intent to disregard established laws, procedures, or policies. Unethical behavior is a blatant disregard for established standards and practices. Unethical behavior is not a simple mistake because of lack of knowledge. I think by now we all know what unethical behavior is and carries with it a pretty serious consequence, which are also covered in the publication. Now, let's walk through each one of the standards briefly, since they are each covered in depth in the publication 4961. As stated earlier, volunteers are expected to perform at the highest moral standards by adhering or following the 6 volunteer standards of conduct. Standard 1 speaks to the quality site requirements, that is QSRs, that each site must follow. Quality requirement number 1 states you must manually complete and certify by testing with a score of 80% or higher. All volunteer sites must use the form 13614C, the intake, interview, and quality review sheet for every return prepared. This is the second online course. We'll get to that in a moment. All returns must be quality reviewed by someone other than the person who prepared the return. Usually that is the site coordinator or manager or an experienced tax preparer. All sites must have the reference materials on site. That is publication 4012, publication 17, and as well as the volunteer tax alerts. All volunteers must complete the volunteer standards of conduct training in VIT Central, which is online, and test, complete the intake, interview, and quality review PowerPoint, and certify before volunteering at any site. Once you are certified in each one of those areas, the form 13615 volunteer agreement form is automatically updated with your score. Continuing with quality site requirements. All sites must ensure that every return is electronically filed or delivered to the taxpayer in a timely manner. Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 says it must be displayed at each site, which says it prohibits discrimination in any form. Volunteers must use the correct site ID number on all returns prepared at the VIT sites. Volunteers must use the correct electronic filing ID number. Both the SIDN and the EFIN must be supplied, displayed, and already input into your profile at the site in which you volunteer. Volunteers must protect the data gathered in the return preparation and keep it confidential. Do not share one taxpayer information with another. If you must share information, it should be shared with another tax preparer to help you to gain a better understanding regarding the taxpayer situation. Additionally, you must not share the client identification number, username, or password. Now, that was ethical standard number 1, the 10 quality site requirements. Standard number 2, all VIT sites are free sites. Free means free. Do not accept any form of compensation for your services. No tip jars. The answer is thanks, but no thanks. Do not use the taxpayer's information to engage in any financial transaction in your personal business. That's standard number 3. Number 4, you do not prepare fraudulent returns ever, never. This puts our program in jeopardy. Our program could be shut down. The taxpayer could seek monetary damages from IRS, and the taxpayer may never stop getting demand notices from the IRS. Standard number 5, volunteers cannot participate in the VIT program if they are engaged, past or future, in any kind of criminal, dishonest, or disrespectful conduct. Additionally, taxpayers may look to the program sponsors for restitution of a taxpayer's or tax preparer's behavior. Standard number 6, volunteers are expected to conduct themselves professionally in a courteous, businesslike, and diplomatic manner. Always maintain a calm, peaceful, and friendly atmosphere. Now, there are penalties for failure to comply with these standards of conduct. Those are listed in the Ethics Publication 4961, as well as other several places in the different reference materials. You can read them carefully and read them at your leisure. Always exercise due diligence in preparing or assisting in the preparation of tax returns. Always make every effort to find the correct answer. When in doubt, don't hesitate to ask. All volunteers are protected from liability under the Volunteer Protection Act, as long as the individual is performing within the scope of their responsibility. I have given you an overview of the online publication 4961, VIT TCE, Volunteer Standards of Conduct, Ethics Training, the publication 5101, Intake Interview and Quality Review Training online as well. Both of these, once again, are required trainings. Now, let's get you on the system so that you're able to take the ethics test. Go to this link for discussion. This link will take you anywhere you need to be except to the Better Impact Volunteer Hub, where volunteers sign up to volunteer at a particular VIT site. This is the picture you should be looking at. As you can see, the middle column are the instructor tools and the more help topics. On the far right, it contains your quick links. If you were to click on one of those links, the links would take you directly to that item. We will be using some of those quick links as we move through the training segments. The quick links that we'll be using are the practice lab, volunteer standards of conduct training, that is your volunteer standards or ethics training, as well as the intake, interview, and quality review training. The latter two of these links we've already mentioned, right? Right. Now on the left side, you will notice certification tests. This is the area where your scored test results are automatically entered. Now, since you have not established a login or a password yet, go down to Create Account and click on it. This is the screen that you will see. Create your account using this information. All the items need information included in them. I have provided some of the information for you. This is the VIT TCE Central Page. It looks a little bit different than the original Create Login page, right? This page is your page and contains only your information. Below the large VIT TCE banner, you will see 2018 VIT certification and My Account banner. Below that banner, you will see tabs, Basic, Advanced, Military, International, Puerto Rico, and Foreign Student. Remember, each of us are certifying at the advanced level. You are not required to take the basic exam before taking the advanced exam. Below those tabs, you will see some columns containing the various course names, score, pass or fail, results indicators, and the number of times you attempted to pass the specific course. Once again, nobody sees this information except you. The first course tab is 2018 Volunteer Standards of Conduct, or VSOC, exam, and the following is 2018 Intake, Interview, and Quality Review exam. These two exams are taken in sequential order and must be taken before taking the advanced exam. In order to take the exams, click on the link. A window to the right opens with the exam. You click on Launch to begin taking the exam. After launching, the system will take you to the actual exam. Read each question carefully and use your resource book or books to answer questions correctly. Each exam has a bookmarking feature, meaning you can start and stop the exam at any time, sign out of the VIT Central, do what you need to do before signing back in. Once you log back in, the bookmark will take you back to where you last exited from the exam. Now, if I were to click on 2018 Intake, Interview, and Quality Review exam, the window opens to the right, but there's no launch indicator, right? Recall I said that the standards of conduct and the intake, interview, and quality review exams need to be taken in sequential order. Because I have not taken the standards exam yet, the system prohibits me from taking the intake, interview, and quality review exam first. It's called checks and balances. When you have taken and passed the standards exam, rest assured the launch indicator will be there for you to begin the intake, interview exam. Don't forget to use your online publication 5101 Intake, Interview, and Quality Review when taking the exam. Here are some pointers for you. Read each exam question carefully and entirely. Scoring the exam is automatic and instant. Remember, in order to pass the exam, you must score at least 80%, and you can take the exam twice. When you have answered all the test questions, click Review to look over your answers once more Then click the Submit button at the bottom of the exam page. VIT TCE Central will record your pass-fail score on its front page. Once you have taken and passed both tests, you may electronically sign the Form 13615, that is your volunteer agreement form, located on the far right side of the VIT Central main page, then download it to your hard drive, and then send it as an attachment to the site address shown below. Forwarding the form to this address alerts the volunteer coordinator that you are now ready for other training events. After you have completed and passed the online advanced test, you will download another copy of the 13615 and forward it to the same site address, indicated that you have met all of the training requirements. At that time, the Better Impact Volunteer Hub will be open to you for selecting your preferred VIT site locations. Electronic signing location is to the far right, directly under the Foreign Student tab. Check the box and then you're done. Now, you may log out of your VIT Central. Log out is in the upper far right-hand corner. Well, thank you for hanging out with me for the online ethics training, and allow me to take this opportunity to welcome you to our family of VIT Dallas Community Tax Center volunteers. Thank you for joining me. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon.